To increase the understanding of what TPM is and how it works, we analyzed 10 essential characteristics. These distinctive characteristics will help you gain an understanding of how TPM works, and the possibilities it offers, to the company that implements it. Throughout this course, we will have the opportunity to expand on these, and other TPM distinctions. TPM practices allow maximizing the utilization of the company's assets, defined as 4M+1T, to produce high-quality products and services at competitive costs. In the operational processes, TPM facilitates the development of competencies in people, so that they can carry out preventive actions and continuous improvement. As a result, improvements are achieved in the PQCDSM measures, ensuring increased reliability of equipment and process capacity, without additional investments. The results that can be obtained with TPM can be both tangible and intangible. Its effect is especially noticeable in the reduction of response time, cost reduction, increased customer satisfaction, and the strengthening of the company's position in the market. In conclusion, TPM allows improving the efficiency of the production system, obtaining the maximum performance and at the same time, minimizing the inputs required for the business operations. TPM is a very effective strategy to improve a company's results significantly. To achieve this, it uses a set of principles that we study below. The first principle we must understand is that TPM is a proactive, not a reactive process. It is a process that allows us to anticipate future events, where everyone participates in detecting opportunities. Acting on opportunities implies developing two types of processes. Optimizing 4M+1T assets, systematically eliminating losses, and reducing costs in the value chain. Innovating processes and products, through organic Kaizen improvements, and radical improvements or Kaikaku. TPM processes help realize the change from a culture of acting on problems, to a new culture of working on opportunities. Let's explain a little more about the proactive approach of TPM, applied to the maintenance of factory equipment. It is common in many industries to perform maintenance work in the following manner. When there is a failure or breakdown in the equipment, actions are taken to put it into operation in the shortest possible time. Later, actions are prepared to correct the causes, preventing them from occurring again. In this reactive way of working, the result of an event is observed, and then, measures are taken to correct the main causes. The TPM approach to maintenance is different. The practice of the proactive approach in maintenance begins with the study of all those causes that could generate the problem before it happens. Then, the corresponding preventive measures are designed. This approach implies recovering the primary conditions of the equipment as the first step in this way of working. The recovery of the optimal conditions of the equipment allows eliminating all type of anomalies and hidden defects, which are responsible for the more significant amount of causes of the failures. This new way of working requires transforming the culture and developing new practices for the analysis and solution of problems. It is necessary to adopt a broader technical approach, because most of the problems are caused by multiple interrelated factors, which are very difficult to solve with a reactive approach. Developing TPM in a company involves implementing a set of processes, known as TPM pillars. Each pillar, or fundamental process, has a purpose for improvement, an orderly system of execution structured in steps, specific techniques that are used to eliminate and prevent losses, and a management system that serves as a guide for its development. The structured methodology in pillars and steps, developed by the Japanese Institute of Plant Maintenance, JIPM, provides a guide to implementing the TPM in a safe and orderly way. The fundamental pillars or processes cover the following stages of the life cycle of equipment or a project: design and development, construction, assembly, commissioning, operation and dismantling at the end of its life. In addition to the fundamental pillars, the TPM has other pillars that allow the improvement of production support operations and the internal and external logistic processes of the company. In the coming years, the new pillars will be relevant, or the current ones will be modified, to facilitate the integration of groups of industries that belong to a global business. Professor Seiichi Nakajima, considered the father of the TPM, established the following 5 requirements to improve the reliability of the equipment. First, maintain the basic conditions of the equipment: cleaning, lubrication and adjustment of screws. Second, maintain the operating conditions required by the equipment to be able to operate at full capacity. Unclear or incomplete operating conditions lead to hidden defects. Third, to restore the deterioration of the equipment. It is typical that when a breakdown occurs in the equipment, only the parts directly involved are repaired. Therefore, even if a worn or broken part is replaced, breakdowns will reappear, since the balance between precision and resistance is not restored. Fourth, correct the weaknesses of the design. Even if the basic conditions are strictly controlled, maintenance costs increase when the life of the equipment is short, and inspections, verifications and treatment for the restoration of conditions cannot keep up with the incidents caused by the defects. In these cases, the causes of the problem can be some weak points in the design of the equipment. Fifth, improve operational and maintenance competence. Many breakdowns are caused by lack of skill and technical competence. Human errors are often not detected, making it difficult to eliminate them. The responsibilities of operators and maintenance technicians must be exact, and their skills continuously developed. These 5 requirements to improve reliability allow to create the fundamental pillars of the TPM. The TPM company-wide vision expanded its scope and facilitated the development of new specialized pillars needed to improve other aspects of industrial operations. The pillars of focused improvements and quality maintenance allow to eliminate losses in the operational processes drastically. The administrative pillar, called TPM Office, provides solutions to improve the functioning of the departments that support the productive operation. It is common to use the figure of the Parthenon, a Doric temple of ancient Athens, built in white marble in the 4th century BC, to represent the structure of the TPM pillars. The front columns of the Parthenon rest on a solid base, which in TPM means the processes of leadership, management and corporate values. In this chart, 2 unconventional pillars are included, in addition to the 8 suggested by JIPM. These pillars represent the processes for improving the company's logistics operations, such as transportation, storage, forecasting, planning and scheduling. Some corporations are experiencing other pillars related to technological innovation, product design and development, and customer service. Many industrial companies with TPM experience recognize that one of their most significant contributions to the methodology is to have helped strengthen the development of high-performance teams at different levels of the company. The management of TPM is generally done through a structure integrated by various types of teams. The TPM Steering Committee, in which senior management participates, is responsible for establishing the purpose and objectives of the TPM, and promotes with its leadership the process of cultural change in the company. The middle management participates in the teams for promotion, training and development of the specific methodologies of each pillar. The TPM coordinator is a fundamental role that allows the integration of the activities of the TPM pillars, and the participation of the whole company. The TPM coordinator reports to the operations director, factory manager or industrial director. Frequently, the human resources areas organize and lead the change management processes of the company. Factory operators are organized into small work teams, which are responsible for using TPM methods and techniques to improve overall production efficiency. The coordination of the technical processes or TPM pillars is done through cross-functional teams composed of representatives from different areas of the company. These cross-functional teams have an essential effect in improving communication and the participation of all areas in the achievement of the company's results. The unique characteristics of the management systems used in TPM are: focus. Usually, a few challenging improvement goals are set each year on which efforts are focused. Usually, the companies with experience in TPM use the factors PQCDSM as the focus of the improvement actions. Visual management. The use of management boards allows conversations to take place as a fundamental means of engaging people and coordinating the actions necessary to achieve the established objectives. It is not the same the management through reports that are presented in meetings, and the management in real time, that is done through conversations using visual aids as support. The central idea is to focus on management itself, and not only on information for management. TPM seeks to vitalize workplaces, enhance human capacity, increase employee commitment to the company's purposes, and create highly competitive workplaces. A study conducted by Professor Nakamura, expert consultant of the JMA, identified more than 80 different practices used at the operational level in the Japanese industry, however, considers that the most contribute to the creation of highly competitive workplaces are: 1. Development of technical expertise. The interest of employees to learn and perform new practices every day gives the human being a greater sense of purpose in their work. 2. Development of the 5S strategy. In addition to building neat and clean workplaces, 5S allows for the creation of new habits for working with standards, increasing the ability to observe and be present with the details that happen on the job site, raising awareness to care for the resources that have been made available to employees. 3. Creating habits of continuous improvement. Developing the entrepreneurial skills of workers and the listening skills of managers is essential to achieve high employee contributions. 4. The development of work in small teams increases the sense of cooperation and stimulates the purpose of achieving great goals together. 5. Strengthen autonomous management. The ability to make decisions in real time avoids the presence of problems and losses in the processes. Each of these activities allows workers to experience the power of teamwork, creative behavior and success. The vitality of the workplace is the most critical force in the success of TPM. One of the essential methods in the practice of continuous improvement of TPM is the CAPTO cycle. The CAPTO cycle is an improvement system that uses the same terms as the well-known Deming PDCA cycle, or plan, execute, check, and act. However, the TPM CAPTO cycle involves some different concepts, especially related to the approach to maintenance practices. Check is about carefully examining the status of the subject under study, and bringing problems to light. For example, the work of inspecting a machine through cleaning is an example of checking. Investigating the breakdown statistics to identify recurring problems is a second interpretation of the check. The letter A is interpreted in two ways. Analyze or perform the work of identifying the causes of the problem. Act. In maintenance practice, it means to take immediate action to put the equipment into operation. Planning involves developing plans to prevent the recurrence of the problem, establishing work standards, procedures and checklists. In the process of analysis and problem solving, planning means designing actions and plans to eliminate the causes of the problem. Execute means preparing and following the rules that prevent the repetition of the problem, and verifying if the actions taken are sufficient. In the process of analysis and problem solving, to execute means to implement the plans prepared previously. In this explanation, you will notice a subtle difference with the traditional practice of the Deming cycle. The Capdeau cycle is designed to make continuous improvements, with a vision of the maintenance process. Indeed, you are more accustomed to the PDCA cycle, initially introduced as a practice of continuous improvement of the quality of a product. The development of TPM helps to innovate training and learning systems in organizations. TPM training is carried out on physical elements, such as equipment, which are analyzed through the five senses. It can be said that they are real laboratories, where learning becomes easier and more tangible, but especially at every moment, and during daily work. The logic suggested in the learning processes in TPM starts with the strengthening of observation, that is, learning to see the machinery and the processes deeply. This learning is very useful to identify as many hidden defects as possible in the processes and machinery. Subsequently, learning focuses on analyzing the problems and identifying the causes. The experience gained with these two learning processes allows for a third and more advanced level of learning to be developed, which consists of exploring how to prevent the repetition of problems in the future. In addition to improving equipment availability, TPM practice helps enhance teamwork skills and flexibility among operators and maintenance staff. In this part of this lesson, we will look at additional factors that justify the need to develop a TPM process in any plant or factory. TPM is a strategy for achieving genuinely extraordinary results. We understand extraordinary results as reaching goals that had not been reached before, and these are maintained over time. TPM improves the efficiency of production systems through the practice of its fundamental processes, eliminating and preventing losses in business operations. However, to make these results sustainable over time, TPM increases the capacity to work in teams, facilitates the development of systematic work improvement habits, and increases the commitment of employees to the company's objectives. For these reasons, TPM has become a vital management initiative in many companies around the world. TPM employs two continuous improvement processes to transform the culture of a factory. In the first of these, the focus of intervention is on processes and behaviors. In the second cycle, the focus is on attitude and culture. If the first cycle is completed to satisfaction, change is guaranteed, but not transformation. Transformation is what makes change sustainable over time. For these two cycles to be effective in a company, it is necessary to ensure that senior management cares about the change process and takes the lead in the transformation process. Success lies in not stopping the process. Use the same pace of technical steps in the progressive introduction of new habits. Each step of the TPM pillars serves to implement new technological tools, but it can also help to incorporate new work habits that will create the culture of the future. We will return later to a lesson in which we will study the details of this subject. The agility and efficiency in operations, achieved by applying the model of the Toyota production system, are recognized today by numerous companies. This chart is famous and represents the macro processes that integrate the Toyota production system. TPM is one of the essential techniques of the macro process of stabilization. Stabilization consists in eliminating the most visible losses, such as waiting times, unnecessary movements, quality defects and others. But also, stabilization allows the development of new working habits that are indispensable for the excellent result of the remaining macro processes of the TPS model. The 5S, the first steps in autonomous maintenance, preventive maintenance and focused improvements, help to make employees aware of the existence of losses, and provide methods for analyzing and solving problems, very useful for eliminating visible losses, and hidden defects in the processes. A lean management system will be more successful when it integrates TPM from the beginning of a lean management project, and is implemented using the pillars and steps suggested by the JIPM experts. TPM has been an excellent path for the technical and human transformation of an industrial company. Shortly, the digitalization of operations as a business strategy will be an urgent necessity for all companies. The introduction of advanced communication technology, increased digital computing power, availability of algorithms for decision-making, etc. will be very common. However, industries will continue to depend on people, who will have to prepare themselves to make use of emerging technologies. TPM is an excellent ally in preparing employees, who will be involved in advanced manufacturing processes for a new era. TPM, from its early stages, has strengthened the employees' interest in learning and training at the workplace. It is also necessary to say that emerging technologies will also provide new tools that will be very useful for the development of the TPM pillars. This table presents some new practices that could be integrated into the development of the TPM processes.